Welcome back to Ken versus the Stove, and now we're doing the, as promised, chili. It's going to be a hybrid off of the recipe I got online, which is a good starting recipe, but does some really dumb things and leaves out some important ingredients, and some other stuff that I've seen done to make chili. Now, as we all know, chili heavily depends on the maker and a little bit of grace from God, and can be awesome, or it can just be bland. So we're going to see what this turns into. Bear with me. Oh yeah, by the way, today's chili recipe is brought to you by Japanese wine. It is a grape wine with other natural flavors, grape and plum. Fuki, yes, Fuki. I am not going to try to pronounce that in an American fashion, so I'm going to kind of stay with that pronunciation. And I will admit, the name is kind of what drew me into buying it. I'm supposed to drink a glass of red wine every night for heart health anyway, right? So, looks red enough to me, at least in the bottle. I don't know what the alcohol content of this is. Hoping it's 9% by volume. It might be interesting. And in case you can't tell from there, while I thought maybe this would be some sort of red wine, it ain't. So don't tell my doctor I'm cheating on the red wine thing. Came from grapes and plums. It's just red without red. Okay, so we're doing the chili. First of all, big pot. Yeah, let's get rid of the doggone 200-pound skillet. What am I doing with this thing? Oh, not using the stove. We'll put the 200-pound skillet in the stove. Okay, so that's basically going to be, we'll start out it on here, but actually really cook it on there. So, in order to get this going, what we're going to do is add a quart of water. Now, a quart of water is 4 cups, as I understand it. We're going to cheat a little bit and really only use 3 cups of water, because we're going to add the other important ingredient as the 4th cup. Three cups of water. Now, the recipe I found online is flawed in that it does not include any bourbon in it. And good chili has some bourbon in it. Unfortunately, the only bourbon I have is Woodford Reserve, and using it is probably alcohol abuse, but I'm going to sacrifice for y'all. So I'm going to put a cup of Woodford Reserve in with it. Oh! Unlike my Japanese wine, there's actually a cork in the Woodford Reserve, which gives you a little bit of a clue of which of these two is, the superior product. 1 cup. Yeah, it's definitely alcohol abuse. Put you away for later. I don't know what it is with that forward front burner, but it always puts off smoke. I don't care what I'm doing, it puts off smoke. Okay, so let's test the Japanese. Yeah, It tastes like plums, folks. Okay, now we add 2 pounds of ground beef. I got 85% ground beef because I want it to actually have flavor, so you gotta stay under 90% if you want flavor. Cook for 30 minutes. Hey Siri, set alarm 30 minutes.
The alarm is set for 17:23.
Okay, 17:23. Should be done. Okay, we're back. I've been coming every few minutes and stirring the pot. So we have a fairly well cooked meat with way too much liquid. Now, this recipe here that I've got says that I should sit this in the fridge overnight so that we can get all that nasty fat out, because it'll congeal on the top and you just pull it out, and then you have, chili that will have no taste. Well, chili ain't meant to have no taste, so we ain't doing that. We're moving to the next step. Next step is we keep this at a low boil, whatever, simmer. We keep it at a low simmer. And we start adding other ingredients. So among these are, let's see, what do we add in? Medium heat, stir in onions, tomato sauce, vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, chocolate, chili powder, salt, cumin, cinnamon, cayenne, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, let's go with it. First of all, they want a bay leaf, because apparently everything wants a friggin' bay leaf. Where did my bay leaves go to? They've escaped. Aha! Bay leaves. 1 whole bay leaf. Yay. Do not know what that accomplishes. Okay. 5 whole allspice berries. Well, I could not get allspice berries themselves, but I did get ground allspice. Now I'm going to assume that 5 of them, I looked online and it looks like a really small seed or berry. So I'm going to take about a teaspoon and put it in there. Well, let's take about 3/4 of a teaspoon and put it in there. By the way, folks, I've come to the conclusion that if you're going to get spices or anything, get them in these little cans. It's a heck of a lot better than that, than getting them any other way. For no other reason than the cans stack. Never seen an allspice berry in my life. Apparently, judging from everything I see online, it is a Jamaican thing. Yay for Jamaica. 5 whole cloves. I have ground cloves already. I had to buy whole cloves because of this thing. Why ground cloves don't work? 3 or 5. I don't know. Half teaspoon ground cayenne pepper. One teaspoon ground cinnamon. And of course the only way I could get the ground cinnamon was in the stupid bottle. I am not sure about the cinnamon part of this. This is starting to feel an awful lot like the first time I did Geta. That maybe there are things here that don't need to be here. One teaspoon ground cumin. One and a half teaspoons of salt. Ah, salt. My most favoriteest thing in the world. One quarter cup chili powder. One half square unsweetened chocolate. Happen to have some. Seems like a strange ingredient for chili. Oh boy, when they say unsweetened, they mean unsweetened. This isn't even like dark chocolate, it's just no sugar. Wow, looks like it melted pretty quick. Four cloves of garlic, minced. Ooh, cool, I get to play with the toy again. Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in my life, I just spat out chocolate. And 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Two tablespoons of vinegar. This should prove interesting. I thought I had regular vinegar, but what I actually have at home here is the apple cider vinegar. I bought this because a buddy of mine convinced me it was something I should, drink some each day because of health reasons, whatever. I think that lasted like a week or two. Because I don't care how much water you cut it with, it's still vinegar. One 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. Actually, I'm going to put in the 2 onions first. I've got 1 red onion and 1, regular, I guess, yellow onion. Pretty sure my nasal passages and tear ducts are going to be clear for at least the next couple days. And finally, Tomato sauce. Need a can opener. And now we let it stew for 3 hours, checking in occasionally to make sure that it hasn't burnt or anything, or it doesn't need more water. And we're back. It's actually about 4 minutes before the 3 hours are done. I'm thinking that it looks pretty done as it is. I get that stupid leaf out of there. Yeah, there it is. Wish I could get the cloves out. Pretty sure that's not happening. Okay, now remember, today's video is informally being not quite sponsored by Fuki plum wine. And boy, I'm telling you, it tastes like plums, folks. Let's pull out some of the chili and see how it is. You know, it would help if I had a ladle. Aha! Let's try this thing. I knew I had this for some reason. Basically useless for everything else. This is basically going to be my supper, folks. I been waiting for this to finish before I ate. There it is. Let me get a spoon. Well, I've got spoons. What is this? Hey, that's not half bad. That's not half bad at all. Well, I'm going to go off and eat my supper now. I'll give you the overall review tomorrow. Okay, so I ate the chili for supper last night, and as you saw, that was about at 9 something p.m., 9:30 or so. It was pretty good, and had it for lunch as well today, and it was pretty good again. I've given it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. It wasn't like it wasn't failure by any means, but this is a starting point. This is okay. Here's a basic recipe for chili. Let's see what we can do to improve it. And you know, as most people do with chili, they have a they just keep messing with it until they get what they think is perfect, and even then they probably still mess with it. I think this one flaws. I usually when I see bourbon in a chili, it usually has a more of a bite than this did. That may be a reflection of the fact that I used Woodford Reserve, and Woodford Reserve is kind of a smooth, more expensive smooth bourbon. I think that if I had used, your basic off-the-shelf Beam or Jack Daniels, well, Jack's not really bourbon, something along that level, that probably would have given it more bite. I think that was a little bit of a flaw using a better bourbon. So either next time I'm going to, try a little bit cheaper bourbon so I can get that, or I may just leave bourbon out of it altogether so that there's more of the beef flavor, which I appreciate more of the beef flavor. I also think that the tomato sauce, using the full can, may have been a mistake. Maybe 3/4 of a can. Again, I'm not a big fan of masking the taste of the beef, right? The beef should have some flavor to it that's not all the stuff that's been added on. As well, I'm not sure that using the red onion accomplished much. I think that when I was cutting them up, boy, that yellow onion hit me. It hit me hard. I mean, I cleaned my nasal passages and my, tear ducts out pretty clearly, pretty good from that yellow onion. I don't think the red one really hit so hard. I think next time, if I want a little bit more bite, I might just go with 2 yellow onions and just sob away while I'm cutting them up and shredding them. And otherwise, it was pretty good. I think that I may, in the future, try experimenting by adding maybe a little bit of apple in it, right? Chop up half an apple and stick it in there. That might make it taste a little bit better too. We'll see. Still not sure what that stupid leaf is that everybody wants me to put in everything. But I put it in, then I have to dig it out before I eat whatever it is. Okay, let me say this. Now here's a video of Shady eating some of the chili, but I do have to say now, she didn't exactly finish it off, right? She ate a fair bit, but she didn't finish it off. I'm not taking that as an insult. I mean, if a cat eats maybe a third of what I put out in front of her, that's pretty good. And of course, I'm a human being, so my tastes aren't quite as, highly refined as a cat's. And I suspect that she will sneak back here and eat on it on and off all day long, as long as the crows don't get it first. Stupid birds. And anyway, that's it for today. Next time, who knows what I'll be doing next time. It'll be the week before Christmas. We'll see what I come up with. But until then, ma salama, y'all.